Hey guys, welcome back to another KevCAM night class tonight. Tonight I have Jennifer helping out with any questions or concerns that come along the way. And Jennifer, are you with us?
Absolutely. Good evening, everyone.
And of course our Greg Payton to help me out and save the day when I get in that pinch. But tonight we are going to be covering kind of like what we did a few, I suppose months ago, taking apart from start to finish without seeing anything beforehand, without pre-programming anything for you guys. So you guys will get to see 100% from start to finish. I did open up the part file just to get a quick peek at it to make sure it wasn't really something complex that we're not going to be able to cover in the night class in the timely manner, but we may have to split this one up into two classes, but we'll do what we can through there. And I do see one new name in there. So for everybody that's new in here, these classes are done on the GoToWebinar. Everybody is in mute only, but there is a questions panel, and we definitely, if you guys have questions, please feel free to ask, because that's what these classes are for. So let us know if you guys have a question. Very laid back. We definitely welcome any ideas that you guys have for a night class. So, and for those of you guys that don't have my email address, I just put it into the chat dialogue. And then each and every,
Kevin?
Yep.
Are you still giving out swag for night class ideas?
Yeah, absolutely. So if you got ideas, send it over and we'll send you off some SolidCAM swag. And unless you're Ronnie Kidder, and we don't have shirts that small. So.
Well, that, as much swag as he has, he's probably going to start selling it back to us.
Yeah. And then every night class is being recorded. So if you guys go to YouTube and type in SolidCAM University or KevCAM, my ugly mug should pop up for you guys. And every night class is in here, and including a tip of the day as well. So we're trying to do a tip of the day, but with things getting busy, they sometimes don't get to be every single day, but we try. All right. With that being said, let's get started here. So I'm just bringing, oh, this isn't even the right part. I thought I had it on my desktop here. 1 second, here it is. It's hiding behind my GoToMeeting. All right, do you want to proceed? Say yes. So we do have what looks to be like an import with some additional features on there, possibly added on by the customer. Hit the green check mark to do the feature works. Okay, looks like we couldn't recognize all the features. So here is our part. Now, taking kind of a quick glance at it, looks like we do have some tapered walls here. So this will definitely be done on a mill turn machine. We got some turning, some grooving.
Looks like you got some backside work there as well.
Yeah, so it looks like we'll be doing dual spindles on this one using part handoff. I think we actually might be able to get some eye machining and some tricoidal turning in there as well. So, and I apologize, guys. When I start programming through some of this, I do talk to myself a little bit. So, but at least you'll hear my
I think I've
process.
seen this one on a support call in the past as well.
Yep.
This one has some familiarity to it from me.
For you. This did come from Clayton, I think it was. So, okay. So I'll just save this and we'll just get the ball rolling here. New mill turn, and hopefully by you guys watching, get something out of it. All right. And Clayton did tell me they were running this on a Morisiki, so I got ready to go for that one. Coordinate system. Grab the center of the part here. Oop, let me switch this over to center of revolution. And yeah, I think we'll start with that side first. So we'll hit the green check mark here. And looks like with this post processor, oh, go ahead, Greg.
I was going to say, for those of you guys out there that are wondering why the coordinate system selection was done a little quick, I would say that we do have a lot of videos on the KevCAM or SolidCAM University channel on YouTube that you can check. That goes a little further in depth on coordinate system selections, in case you have any questions about some of the more minute details that Kevin's going through tonight.
All right. Now let's do some stock. Now, I don't know the exact stock dimensions that Clayton is starting with. So let's go 50 thou on the right, on the back. Let's just do like 250 thou to hold on to. External, we'll just do 50 thou, and we won't do an internal diameter. So just building up my stock right now. And I know some of this might be repeat for you guys, but we can build out our stock using multiple different ways. But now we have our stock on there. We can actually see, if I zoom in here, you can see here is our stock envelope, and here is our target envelope, or our SolidWorks envelope. So we'll hit the green check mark out of there. Okay, so now we can start programming this. First thing what I'm gonna always wanna do is get a setup going. So I'm gonna open up a setup. We got clamping fixture. Let me just do a quick show to see where those clamps are being located. So here's our part. We'll go down to, oops, slide our part out a little bit. So we're clamping right on our stock. Okay, it looks good.
Yeah, it'd be good to say that you were able to adjust that part using the middle wheel
Yep.
of your mouse to slide it out. But if you want more precise location of where those jaws are going to be, you could do what Kevin's doing now and select the button with the 3 dots next to it and actually pick the Z value of where those vice jaws are going to be located on your part.
Absolutely. And let's say maybe I have different style vice jaws and whatnot. You can come in here and do new ones. You can edit the jaws that are in there. I'm just going to kind of leave with the default that's in there right now. So we got our setup. So we know where everything is. Now, personally, what I like to do.
Hey, Kevin,
yep.
Bob has a question here. He's asking what version of SolidCAM is being used.
Bob, I'm using the latest version, which is SolidCAM 2018 Service Pack 2 Hotfix 5. So and this one was released November 4th. So yeah, definitely ask questions, guys. All right. So I'm just trying to get a grasp on everything here. Okay, so what I like to do is if I go to my setup, I like to see where my jaws are. So what I can do is I can actually click Generate Envelope, and what this will do is it will generate where my jaws are. So now that's actually physical geometry. I can actually use that as geometry or as a level to pick on. Okay, so let's start off with turning, and I'll face off the part first. I'm going to use the turning operation to face off this part, just because there is a lot more options in turning than there is facing. Facing is a simplified version. Turning is where I can get in and do more modifications and have more control. So I'll just grab that face right there.
Now, one of the nice things about using the turning operation when you're doing your facing is if you're going to use the same tool, you can hit the Save and Calculate button, which will bring you into another turning operation. And then all you need to do is change your geometry, and you'd be able to calculate that toolpath as well, instead of going into a brand new operation.
Yep. Yeah, well, maybe we'll do that on the next one, because I'm thinking after we face this, we'll do a outside turning. So, okay, so right now, you can see I just have a small little line. I want to extend that, excuse me, down to all the way down to my stock. And if I zoom in here, you can see I have stock above and I have stock below. And this green line right here is representing updated stock. So it's constantly updating as I put toolpath on there. And as we remove material away, that green line will update automatically for us. So what we'll do is modify geometry here. And we'll do auto extend stock. And let's grab a tool here. So I'm going to use the composite external turning, and let's just use a CNM G432. Okay. You can kind of see how my tool is mounted right now, which is the wrong direction. So what I want to do is come into the mounting, come in here, and you can see my tool is going the wrong direction. I mean, I could cut the way that it's showing right now, but since I'm going to want to use that tool for the outside, I'm actually going to flip that to X positive. So now I can face down and face across. And so right here, you'll see I got my entire machine in here. If I don't want to see any of that, I can turn it off. Once you get a lot of tools going in here, you'll see them all, and I'll show you how to eliminate the tools so the visibility is much easier for you guys. Okay, with the green check mark here. And I'm just going to skip right over levels, and we're just going to tell it we're going to do a facing the front, and we're going to do a rough and a finish. So go there. I have my roughing strategies, leaving 20 on there. By default, save and calculate. And now you can see our toolpath is there. So if we want to see this, go to simulate and go to solid verify here. And I'll slow it down. That went really fast. Taking our passes. So we roughed it and finished it. Just as a sanity check, I can do a stock target in comparison. So I'm right up to size since we are showing yellow. So it looks good. So now, like Greg was mentioning before, we can utilize, let's say I wanted that step down to be 40 thou. I wanted to have my X and Z offsets in there for a finish pass. So what I'll do is, like I said, save and copy. And it's going to basically mirror the first operation here. And now what I'm going to do is I'm going to grab my OD. And we'll do another modified geometry here. Now, I don't want to do extend up to stock because I'll be running into my jaws here. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to highlight my end extension, click on my jaw. So my jaw would be an additional 157. So let's just put that at 1/8 inch there to stay to go past, so we don't get the pucker factor when that tool gets really close to that jaw.
Still being within 30,000, so I think that would still give me a pucker factor. But it's always good to know that you're keeping it off in a positive direction.
Oops, I don't even need to grab a tool because I did a copy. So I can go to my technology again, and basically we're done. Save and calculate. Oh, I do have to change it from face to OD turn. So there we go. And now,
yeah, it'd be fun to find out in the group chat here what everybody thinks of how many years have been taken off their life based off of a machining pucker factor. I think my life has been shortened by about 7 years at this point.
Oh, come on, there's plenty of distance there. All right, so we got the OD, and I grabbed the chamfer that was on there as well. Now, let's say a customer didn't have this chamfer drawn in there. You guys can come over to the edge breaks and just do a external corner in there and do a chamfer or a fillet. Just tell it what size or how big you want it, and it will automatically insert that in there if there isn't one in there already. Okay, just give me a second here, guys. I just need to get, so I think what I'm gonna do now is bore out the center. Now I didn't get a tool library or anything like that from the customer on this part file, so I'm gonna kind of go with what I would, or what we used to have in our shop. So for drilling, don't have to worry about picking geometry. And I am going to use a 1.5 inch spade drill. So do a drill.
Now we do have an update from the chat. It looks like if based on pucker factor alone, Ronnie died 20 years ago.
That's great. All right. So we got tool position the right way, levels. And when I say I just skip over the levels, you know, since we're in turning, the only thing that's in levels is your safety distance. You guys can come up here and set a specific distance for the X and Z if you want them to be different. But a lot of times in turning, this is already kind of set up, and you know, it's kind of a breeze over. So now it's asking me where do I want to drill from. So I'll start from right here, and let's drill. Let's just go all the way through the entire part. And we will do full diameter. And let's do a G83 pack. Do a 200 thou pack. Okay, looks good. Feed is not in range. Yeah, I didn't set any feed rates. I do not know the material, so I'm just going to put any feed rate in there. And let's take a peek. We can do this in turning, so you can see we're packing out. Okay, looks good. And now let's go ahead and bore that center out. I think this is going to be our next step. So we will go to turning. And geometry, I'm going to start here, and I want to end. No, actually, I want to use that one as a groove. Let me reject that one. Let me do this one as a boring. So go ahead and grab from there to, having a hard time seeing that line. There we go. Wait a minute here. Undo. There to. For some reason, I am not getting.
Yeah, I think we need to do a tip of the day on changing the sketch color. That way we don't have so much gray on gray.
Yeah. What am I missing here? New geometry. Go from here to here. Got something going on with my chain here that I am baffled on.
It's almost like you got a break in that corner.
Um,
Keep in mind you're working with an import model, so it may not have came across as clean as you would have expected from a SolidWorks model.
So in that particular case, what we'll do is point to point. So go from there to here to there to here. There we go. Okay. And we'll go to modify geometry. And we'll auto extend to our stock here. Well, actually, we don't even need to go that far. We'll go for it. Okay, so let's grab a boring bar here. We'll do another composite tool, and we'll do internal. And let's go with a DNMG. Oops. NG 331. That's what I have in mind here. Okay, and that looks good. Okay. Yep, it looks like our tool is orientated the right way. I forgot to double check that, but I can see it here from the picture. Technology, we're doing internal bore, roughing. We'll just do 5 thou on the X, 40 thou per cut, looks good. Semi-finish, I want to do ISO turn, run counter compensation. And let's see what we got. Why is it going reverse? Geometry, modify. Okay. I shouldn't be starting from the outside and working its way in. Let me just double check my mounting to be sure here. That looks fine. Levels look good. Internal, rough. Breaks, looks good. top right safety. Simulate. Solid verify. What I'm going to do is do insert only. See if that's what's affecting it. I'm baffled on why it's going backwards here. Turning. All right, Greg, what am I missing here?
Let's go back to your geometry selection, because I didn't like how that geometry came out from the get-go. Maybe take off the up to entity and select it individually based off of chains and not by points. Okay.
Good call.
There we go. I like that. Let's accept that, and now let's do our extend the stocks.
Yeah, I'm going to see if we're cutting the right direction here. No, we're still working our way out. Got the X going the right way here.
What I see there is a finish pass only. Do you have a roughing pass?
Yep, I got roughing.
Associated with that?
Might not have enough material here.
Let's take a look at your modified geometry specifications again, and make sure you're extending past both the start extents and the end extents.
Ooh, that could be it. Reverse. So we get that back. Auto extend to start. I bet that's what it was. And auto extend to end.
Maybe give it a little bit of end extension and start extension for good measure. Nope, looks like you got it there.
I think I got it. There must have been just a slight bit of a gap there. No? Let me just double check my tool real quick. DNMG 331. Cutting direction is the right. put that back at 3. And let's do like what you're saying, Greg, is add geometry. Looks
like Ronnie has a suggestion here.
Ronnie, what you got?
Is the shank LH?
I don't even have a shank on there, so.
Left hand, okay.
We got cutting edge right. Like I said, I'm doing insert only. Let's see if those. Something so simple as getting me stumped here. It's got to be something to do with that target. So let's do this. Bomb that one out. Try turning. It's coming through as a spline as I'm picking that for some reason. I don't know if that's the issue here. Point 1. Auto extend. Do an extra 0.1. Start. DNMG 331. Doing long internal. Simulate. Oh, I'm baffled on this one right now. Under the gun for you guys. Let's see here. This should be working. That's not gonna matter. General. For some reason I think it's either to do with our geometry or our tool here. Internal. Craig, you got any ideas here?
And sure you're not on a dev build this week?
Yeah, promise. Mounting. Get that flip back over. That looks good. Let's try insert only. I can see it's going through the part here, and I don't understand why. It's got to be something to do with that import here. So let's do this. Oh shoot, it's an import, so I can't grab the original revolve.
No.
Let's go to our target. We'll hide that. And let's go up here, define. Unselect, reselect. Okay. Geometry. New. Go from there. Yeah, it's not wanting to connect the points is basically what's happening.
What if instead of turning on wireframe, you use the solid selections?
Yeah.
For geometry.
Good call.
Try to get around the import.
The import issues. All right. I gotta get my bearing straight here. And go from here to here. Here.
Double check that one because it looks like you went up and around.
Yeah. Something's definitely going on with our geometry here. That gives us nothing. Well, oh, it did give us something. Why didn't it show us? Simulate. So let's do modify. Auto start. 0.05. And All right. Let's try this again here. Internal tonal. D. M. G. Oh, I am just stumped here, guys. I hate to do this. Oh, I just cannot figure out why we can't get that internal to work.
Why don't you go back to the wireframe selection and go through it, and we'll figure out your gremlins later. But let's do this boring pass, and then let's move on to the face grooving.
Sure. All right, so got this guy, this guy. Go. And modify. Auto to start. Do a 50 thou. Okay. I'll have to take a second look at that one next time here. All right. Let's see. Let's do a grooving face here. New. Let's hope this one works like it's supposed to here. Yeah, see, I'm thinking we got something going on with our geometry, because it should have picked that up automatically. Modify, auto to end, tool select, and we'll use a external grooving, and let's do 0.125. Okay, mounting. Turn out the rest of my tools. Looks good. And we'll do face groove. doing a finish, cutter comp. All right, let's see what we have here. So I didn't set up too many of the parameters. I just left it at the default, so it's stepping over 40 thou each time. And we should be doing a finish pass once it's done here. So we got a nice smooth finish pass. And as a sanity check, let's just make sure, yep, so we're right on that yellow green all the way through. So now, so I want to make sure, so I think next what we'll do is get into doing these pockets. So for these pockets here, since this has live tooling, I'm going to use 3D iMachining for that. And I did not set up any database, so let me grab that. And 3D iMachining. And I want to contain it just to a certain area. So I'm going to do working area, define. Oops. Undo. Okay. Got our boundary in there. I'm going to tell it to stay internal. And we'll do tool. What size radius do we have in here? I get the arc length. Let's go with 375. And we're going to have a little bit longer of our tool here. All right. Grab that. And go right to our technology wizard. Looks good. I'm going to turn on turbo and save and calculate. Oh, forgot to grab the levels.
Now, for geometry selection, you only selected the one pocket. Are you going to be transforming the other three pockets?
Yep. So,
or are you doing those separately?
Since we have geometry that is equally the same all the way around, what I'm going to do is my main focus right now is let's get this pocket done. And then we'll just, once we have everything that we're looking for, then we'll do a transform and transform it around to the other ones. So let's get my level set up here and flip this part around. And I'm going to go actually all the way through. So I'm going to go to the back of the stock and we'll just go another minus 50 thou past. Actually, we don't even go that far. Let's go 10 thou past. Save and calculate. Am I putting you guys to sleep yet? All right, technology wizard. That's good.
We lost Jennifer about 20 minutes ago.
All right, solid verify. I must have my accuracy set pretty tight here. Yeah. Let's do 0.001. Okay. And oops, sorry guys. I have to exit out and come back in. Solid verify.
Now, this toolpath here, is it utilizing the X and the Y, or are you utilizing the X and the C to cut this on the live tooling lathe that you have?
This would be the X and C rotating around right now.
Okay.
Well,
maybe we should go over a little bit more in depth on the motion control page.
Okay, so that looks good. So let's hop over to our motion control. And so if you guys wanted to do C axis or X and C, we would want to turn this on. And I'm all baffled because I'm still trying to figure out what's going on with that other toolpath. So if I'm saying something wrong, fill me in, Greg. So X and C, by turning that on, we'll move the X and C axis. With this off, it's going to stay stationary, and our live tooling is going to go in the Z and Y axes. Did I say that right?
Yeah, X, Y, and Z.
Or
so
X,
it's going to
Y,
be
and Z.
treated like it's a basic milling operation. Whereas if you check the box for fourth axis, you're going to activate the rotational command of the C axis
Of the spindle.
and have the toolpath output in X and C coordinates.
Yep. So now that we got that set up, everything looks good. Like Greg was mentioning before, we're going to do a transform. And so there's no need to come through and chain all these boundaries when I can just click on 4-axis. And it's going to be every 90 degrees, 3 steps, insert, hit OK, save. And now you'll see that we are roughing out all 4 pockets. So pretty simple, easy there. Now, let's go for finishing the walls. So for this, what I'm going to need to do, since I got geometry down here that I need to grab, go around. So what I'm going to do is just do a quick sketch. And let's do convert entities. We'll grab this guy, this guy, this guy. And do the same over here.
So once again, this is another example of how we can use the tools that are built into SolidWorks to expand upon the functionality of SolidCAM by grabbing certain geometries or working areas directly from the solid model and using that to drive the toolpath in SolidCAM.
Yeah, great point. I'm just going to kind of connect all our dots here. Okay, so just throwing a simple, easy sketch on there. I'm going to trim off any extras that are hanging around. And that looks good. Okay, exit out of sketch. And let's do a milling profile. And now what I'll do is I'll use this sketch right here. Okay, and we will want to reverse that. And basically we're going to do the same thing as what we did before with the transform. Let's get one good one, and then we'll transform it around. So use that same tool. Levels, for levels here, profile depth. I would just scroll all the way through.
Now, Kevin's doing this, I'm assuming, on an individual basis for the sake of demonstration. But if you do know that you are going to have multiple toolpaths that are going to need to be transformed, we can do transformations from within the operation tree to where you can highlight all of the operations that you wish to transform and apply that transformation to the selected operations. That way you're not having to do it on an individual basis.
Yeah, great point.
I know you're trying to hammer it home, Kevin.
I'm still just stumped on that toolpath. Okay, so we're arcing in, doing a nice finish along that wall. Obviously this one's tapered, so it's not going to really matter too much. And let's just kind of get in there. And looks like we're right up to size, so we're good. And to kind of what Greg is talking about is, like I said, you can highlight as many as you want and do it from outside the operation, do a transform for axis. 90, 3 steps. Okay. Let's see, what's next? Finishing the face. So let's use a HSS operation. And since we have such a vertical wall right here, I think what I'm going to go is with constant Z. And the surfaces I want to grab are these, this one, and this guy. All right, grab our tool, select, and what we're using here, oops, 3/4. So let's do a 3/4 inch ball, or 3/8 ball. And good enough for now. For some reason, I have my settings set for 2,500 for my feed rates, and that's why you get that feed rate alarm. Okay, so step over. Let's do 15 thou, step down. Sorting. Yeah, let's leave it one way. Gouge check. And for my gouge, I want it to not touch. You can see all adjacent surfaces. And just do trim and relink. And actually,
I know we've touched upon this in previous night classes, but would you say it's safe to say that if you're just getting used to using the HSS module, that you want to keep your calculations fairly rough in the beginning to see what the toolpath is going to do?
Yeah, great point there. So under the surface quality, especially on a larger part file, it's going to take more time to show that toolpath. Plus, I got a lot going on right here. I really have to zoom in to see what's going on. So if I leave this at default, save and calculate, and now I can see my lines quite well of what's going on here. So So kind of one of the last things I'll do is set up the step over. Let's see what this looks like here. And do solid verify. Now I can see one issue right now is I am not going over far enough to grab where I left off with that profile there. As I get farther down, it's going to blend in, but I definitely have a ridge there. So let's just pause that for a second. And I'm going to modify my surface. And let's just do 20% of the tool for the start and end.
Now, the values that you're changing, what are you controlling with those?
So with those values, I'm telling it to extend the surface by 20% of the diameter of the tool. So basically, we are stopping right at this line right here, but now what I've told it to do is to go past by 20%. And I'll see, I'll verify.
And that was on the tangential extensions?
Yep. So I think as we get farther down here, it should wipe that out now. Looks like I could go just a wee bit more here. Well, actually, it looks like it's starting to blend out as it's going down to the bottom here. Let's just double check it real quick. Yeah, we got orange and yellow, so that's exactly what we're looking for. So now that we have that operation set, we'll do kind of like what we did before, is do a transform, fourth axis, include the original, every 90 degrees, 3 additional times. Oops, I got click happy there. 0, 90, 180. Oh no. Oh. Cancel this. 4 axis. Include 90. Insert. Okay. There we go. So what I'm going to do is let's play this through. Solid verify. And I want to make sure from the looking at it here, I think we got everything from the front side. Let me see what my accuracy, yeah, 1,000. And I want to kind of buzz through this fast because we got to be getting close on time here. General, and let's bump this up to 100 steps.
Yeah, I know we're over on time right now.
Oh, are we? Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
By a long shot. Okay, so let me ask you guys this. Let's just verify to make sure I have everything done on here. Looks good. Looks like I might be shanking out. Yeah, I'm shanking out with that end mill going down so deep so I can actually change the value of that. But okay, so we still have the entire back side of the part to do. Are you guys okay with continuing on this class coming up? I don't even have the questions panel popped out here. I want your guys' take on.
Ronnie says he's looking forward to next time.
Okay. Okay, so let's do that. I apologize, guys. Let's get to, what do we have? So we do have the SolidCAM utility coming up. This is already on the books. So what I'm thinking is, what we'll do is on December, shoot, I don't have a calendar. Let me pull my calendar here.
11th.
So the 11th, let's come back to this part. And I want to throw this out to you guys. So here's my plan of attack is, let's do the 4th is going to be our SolidCAM utility. The 11th is going to be finishing up this part file. And the 18th of December is let's get you guys excited
Live
about
from South Dakota.
No, I don't think we can do that.
No?
Well, let's ask them. Do you guys, on the 18th, would you guys like, so Greg, myself, and Daniel, and Darren Bryant will all be in South Dakota on the 18th for an on-site. We are going to be doing Swiss screw machine, covering everything with this customer for on-site training on the 18th. Would you guys like to see a live presentation of Swiss screw machine on the 18th? Or would you guys like to do a what's coming for 2019? We're still going to do the what's coming for 2019 no matter what, but I just want your take on the 18th.
We've got a real Sophie's choice here.
Yeah. I'm leaving up to you guys because I know you guys are the only ones that are benefiting from this. So, sure, okay. So
yeah, Ronnie said let's do them both.
Greg machine sounds cool. So okay.
Screw machine, yeah. Okay.
So
it.
That's our plan of attack then. I'll get this put up on the schedule for you guys to sign up for. So the going forward, the 11th we'll finish off this part. The 18th, we're going to have a whole bunch of us all piled into the hotel room doing it live using Swiss and showing you guys how Swiss works, if you guys have a Swiss machine, kind of showing you the ins and outs of Swiss. Be prepared. This class may go long, if that's okay with you guys, since we're going to have a lot of people there. So that class may go long. And then the 25th, we obviously won't have a class. And the 1st, we won't have a class, but then we'll get back to what's coming up in 2019 for you guys. That works for you guys. And if it doesn't work, shoot me an email. You don't have to put it in the chat. But like I said, I want to base this off of what you guys want to see and not what Greg and I want to show you guys. So, sorry, Greg.
Yeah, because it's going to be South Dakota. We could be out partying. I'm not really sure what South Dakota has in store. Well, we don't really hear much about South Dakota.
Yeah.
With apologies to all of our customers in South Dakota.
So, all right, guys. Well, and then when we come back to this part, I'll try to figure out what's going on with that geometry there, and get that so it's going the correct direction, and fill you in then. But apologize for going long, but hopefully got something out of it. And like I said, I apologize for the chaining issue there, but when we program live, there's bound and determined for stuff to come up every once in a while. So I was flying by the seat of my pants there. But all right, guys, thanks for attending the night class, and appreciate all the feedback. And if you guys do have suggestions, send those over to me in email. If you guys don't want to see the Swiss, let me know. But looks like for a lot of you guys are really wanting to see that Swiss. So we'll do that. So, all right, guys, we will talk to you guys next week. All right, guys.
Good night, everyone.
Good night. Bye-bye.